What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the No Business Soccer Podcast, where we got no business talking about soccer, but we're doing it anyway. I'm here today with, well, actually, Danny P's not in the back today. We do have my boy J-Fam, the Brainiac, hanging out with us. He's manning the controls today, and as always, hanging out with my man, your man, Hype Man Vic. How you doing?
Doing good, man. We had a real good Euro. We had a pretty good Copa. And I think we're celebrating. We're going to have a celebrational pour as well with some Jack Daniel's 12 year. It's one of the most coveted bourbons that I have right now. So celebrating today.
Okay.
Had a really good tournament, and let's get to it.
That's it's funny that you say that word, because I was thinking about that, how the British, like, we say it's a celebratory drink or something.
Yeah.
But they say celebratory, like celebratory. Really? I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, another one of those weird. They talk weird over there. Yeah. But we love their sport, so can't hate them for that. And on that topic, we have a lot to get to. We'll talk about the Copa final, Austin FC. Really quick updates. Not a lot we want to talk about. My cat, apparently. And some home renovations that I'm going through. So first things first, all that's before we get to the final, obviously, of the Euro 2024. But first things first, Copa America final. I think it would be crazy to talk about it without talking about all of the chaos that happened pre-match. And it looked like a freaking stadium in a third world country just got overrun. And it's like, what the hell happened outside of the game? Not even talking about the actual soccer that took place. Just talking about the chaos, the freaking kids getting crushed on the gates, people going through the vents. Like, what the hell is going on? That was insane. Did you see all that?
I saw all that. People lining up just to go through the vents too.
Yeah, right. Like,
it was so crazy. Yeah, there was a line for the vents to get in.
So I saw a lot of tweets were talking about how is America going to handle the World Cup coming up in a couple of years, but the tournament itself, yes, it's hosted in the US, but it's not run like FIFA is going to be running the World Cup. FIFA does not run the Copa America. That is run by CONMEBOL. So all of the security and all of that detail is done by CONMEBOL. So whenever you see what's happening and all that, I think that's just essentially someone not understanding the how many Colombians. I don't want to say it was all Colombians. To me, it looked like all the Colombians were causing the chaos.
It was all Colombians.
I'm not hating on Colombia. I'm just saying it just looked like it. So yeah, I mean, they underestimated how many passionate fans were there from Colombia that wanted to see this. And from what I saw, there was like people finally getting into the game that they paid $2,000 for tickets to get to, and then their seats are just overrun by like 5 or 6 people that don't have tickets. They're just standing there. Crazy stuff. But the actual game itself, I think Argentina deserved to get that win. It was a lot of fun to watch, but I was going for Colombia because I feel like Argentina, why do they need another trophy? They already got the World Cup. They don't need this. But when you see the tears going down Messi's face, it was heartbreaking, because it's like, that's a guy that he's been around for so long, especially since I've been a fan. He's been like the guy. Obviously, Ronaldo's there too, but I'm more Messi than Ronaldo. We'll talk about that maybe another time if anybody cares. But either way, it was crazy to see that happen to him. And then you see his ankle; it was like a balloon. It was
nasty. Yeah, but it did show me like how much Messi cares about this game, because he's won everything, like everything, and he's still out in the 60th minute of a Copa America final, which he doesn't need to win like at all, and he's like crying, like showing emotion, like he wants to be out there. So put him up. I don't know if y'all are gonna get mad, but he's above. He's GOAT over Ronaldo.
He is GOAT for sure. And there was a video I saw of him, and it was like, it said it was just showing him on the bench with his boot off, his foot's out, it's all swollen, and he's just sitting there. And it's kind of like him looking around, and he wasn't necessarily watching the game. Obviously he's watching the game, but he's like looking at the crowd, and he's looking at the game, and he's kind of like taking everything in. And then he just like slumps back in his chair, and then just starts to like, breathe and start crying and stuff. And it was like, this is the moment he realized, like, it's over. Like, it's the career's coming to an end, which he still's got a lot of game. He's still I don't know if he's still gonna play in the MLS, but either way, there's nothing else for this guy to prove. it was pretty sad watching that. But we said a lot of goodbyes this summer. We have maybe Modric, we had Royce, probably Cristiano, Messi. So it's a sad time, but you see all the wave of the youngins coming in, and they're even younger than these guys were when they started. So a lot to look forward to. Great into a great tournament. And then, we see that. And then we see the Austin FC match that happened. And all I have to say is #WolfDut. Right?
I think that's what it's spelled, yeah. Whoever bought that plane couldn't afford the extra F. And they
had no Fs to give, is how they put it. So
good point.
I mean, outside of the misspelling, which I saw is not, they didn't submit it that way. The plane company messed it up. But either way, the message still rings true. That was a I don't even know how to put it, a disheartening performance by Austin FC. Danny Pereira, he would give up passes. He would, whatever at the midway line, and then he just kind of walk back, not track back, not trying to get into the game. Driussi it was before halftime. I remember I text you. He's like making the universal sub motion, and I'm like, "Who is he? Is he hurt? Like, what's going on?" And you were like, "No, he's probably." What'd you say? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying he's so frustrated out there, and you could tell like he wasn't getting passes and everything. I was like, he's probably telling the coach to sub everyone else out, get him a damn good team or something like that.
Like, and I'm staying on. Yeah. Everybody else needs to go.
Somebody else. And I felt the same, dude. I was disheartened. And I even told you guys, this was the first game that I was like actually pissed watching. And we just showed no heart, no nothing out there. It was just really bad to see. We can start another podcast on Austin. So I don't want to talk about this shit anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? No, there's people that handle that stuff, and we appreciate them for the hard work they do. But yeah, that's all. That's it for Austin FC. We won't go any further on that.
I want to hear about your cat, Adam.
Tell us about your cat. So I still don't quite understand. I don't own the cat. Okay. It's not one that I am feeding it though. So I had to get dog food for my dog that I do love, and he lives inside, and I have a soft spot in my heart. So I bought a tiny little food bag, and I'm feeding the cat, and he's coming every night, but every time I see him, he scurries off. So, or, him, her, whoever, they run off, and it's like I don't feel a connection to this cat. I'm just feeding a wild animal essentially, so it's not like my cat. You know what I mean?
Have you looked up the cat distribution system?
No, I refuse to, because it's probably going to tell me that I'm wrong. So
I gave you homework and you didn't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just up next, man. You were the next one in queue. So play on your cat. What'd you name him, by the way? The Reginald?
No name. I'm not naming something. Reginald. Yes. Wow, that's off the dome too. Yeah. Okay, Reginald. What if it's a female though? Still Reginald?
Regina.
You're too clever for your own good. All right, and you're probably wondering why this podcast is a few days post the final, and it's because my house is trash right now. I'm getting renovations done, and the roof's half torn off, a wall's half torn off. The garage looks really good though. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the Magana Casa. The Snooz house.
Let's give Danny P some homework, and you can see some pictures right here. I don't know where.
This is what the renovations. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see.
Maybe they do. That's why we're late. Yeah.
But I bring that up because hopefully in the next couple of episodes, you'll be seeing the new office. I'm getting an office built. So yeah, you'll see the new studio, not this old one. So yeah, hopefully. Okay, well, let's jump into it. We have Spain versus England. They played in Berlin, and I will say right off the bat, I actually enjoyed the game. I really did. I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed in the way it ended and the way that England played, but overall, 2-1 goes to Spain. And I will say this though: the first half, it actually felt pretty even, but it didn't really seem like Spain were going after it like they had in the past. It was kind of like they were filling them out, like it is UFC fights, right? They're just kind of jabbing in the first round, figuring out timing, tempo, getting the feel for the match. That's what it felt like with Spain and England. But I think it all changed when Saka went down and Carvajal looks at him and he's doing the like crybaby, like get the F up kind of thing. After that, you kind of felt like, damn, Spain, they're just feeling them out. Like they're definitely going to turn up that temperature. They're going to turn up the pace on them a little bit. But did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I was like, okay, now we're getting starting to cook with grease here.
Okay, and he plays defense, you know. Like okay,
exactly.
So, but I will say at halftime though, there wasn't a lot to talk about the first half, but the second half, coming out of the break, we got news that Rodri was subbed off, and Rodri, the player of the tournament, at that looked like trouble. It was kind of like, is this the moment that England gets it done? Do they finally take that step and get that championship? They get that trophy. But it wasn't to be, because a minute after halftime, I think they were still barely getting the sleep out of their eyes, kind of after I'm rubbing it out. And the Spanish kids link up. Lamine Yamal, we talked about it before, but he sees Nico Williams making a run on the other side of the pitch, and he just kind of holds up so that the England defenders run past him, and he just nonchalantly rolls it in his way, and bam, Williams has it. He hits it first time, low, far post, and it's 1-0 Spain. And we're all like, I think I was in the kitchen. I didn't even get to see it live. I was getting my hamburger break the fourth wall. We were all hanging out at Danny P's house. And I'm like, it's just starting, you know, no goals happened this early. But it did.
Yeah, and not only that, it was a quick goal, and then not even like 2 minutes later, Danny Olmo had another one that just went wide, and it could have easily, within the first 4 minutes of that second half, been 2-0, and that would have been a much different game than we got. So it was pretty crazy to see it. They came out swinging.
Yeah, and Morata, I think, also had a shot that was very close to getting like to scoring, and it felt like after that first goal, the Spanish team was kind of like, okay, we got these guys. Like, let's apply a little bit more pressure, get these 2 or 3 goals, and then send them home. But yeah, you could tell that momentum had switched because Southgate made a change that I don't agree with, and we all know it. But he subbed Kane in the 60th minute for Ollie Watkins, hoping to recreate the same heroics that happened in the semis. And even though I'm the biggest Harry Kane fan there is, I could tell that he wasn't himself. And even though he can always score at any moment, once Watkins came on, he did start to stretch the pitch a bit. And because he was on the field and they were stretching it at that point, that's actually what created the first goal for Cole Palmer, because they're getting that team to kind of break up. They're breaking up that Spanish midfield, and Cole Palmer hits that ball from the outside of the box. It was like it wasn't a rocket. It was more of a pass, but still beautiful. And of course, you know, I like to see some long range shots. And what do we call those? Boner balls?
No.
Is that what we call those?
Sure don't.
It's going to stick. Everybody's going to say it. Hashtag boner balls. That just doesn't sound like thing.
My bad, Snooz. I was just saying, you guys should have seen whenever Harry Kane took off the captain's armband, a single tear down Adam's eye. And we were just like, oh.
Yeah. Boy. Yeah, that sucked. But, you know, we'll talk about it in a second. But so even though they switched up the Southgate switched up the team, it's still, Yamal could have had 2 more chances after that, and it took Pickford saves to keep England in the game. And it really felt like this wasn't there, even though it was tied at the moment, that it wasn't going to happen. That Spain was going to get that second goal, and lo and behold, the boy from Real Sociedad, Oyarzabal, if you're in Spain, 86-minute winner. It looked like we were going into extra time, the end of regulation, if you will. I don't know if that's what they call it in Europe, but we call that regulation time in NFL. So yeah, but 86-minute, and it was kind of like, I don't want to say out of nowhere, because again, Spain were applying the pressure, but it's the way he scored the goal and he kind of ran off to the side. It was kind of like they knew it was happening. They were obviously cheering and celebrating, but he just kind of like, you know, brushed himself up, got that goal, and they were off and winning. Crazy.
Yeah. It was a good strike too. It was from outside the box, clean. Actually, I think it might have had a tip. I forgot, but man, it was just a rocket straight in the bottom left corner.
That was Cole Palmer's goal.
Is that what you just said?
I was talking about Oyarzabal.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
But you were right. You were right.
Everything I just said. All right. Just ignore it.
That's hilarious, Ben. So, yes, we're talking about the winner that Spain got.
Oh, because I didn't know we got there yet. My bad. Yeah.
Yes, because Oyarzabal, he's the one that he basically comes in the game, gets a winner, and then it just goes home. That's really it. That guy. But really, what it came down to is I feel like there's a moment at the very end of the game, very, very end of the game, where there's a cross into the box and there's a header chance, and it doesn't go to any of the attacking players. It goes to the center back, Gehi, and he makes contact with the ball. And yes, Olmo was in the perfect position. Yes, he had to have awareness. And it was a great, great save. I mean, clutch moment, but you have to be putting a better ball in the box at that point, or you have to be getting better contact on the ball. And I just felt like if Kane was in there in the game at that moment, he's getting that goal. He's heading it down. He's getting that goal, but he wasn't. Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. I won't tell you you're wrong. I won't say you're right either, though.
It sucks, man. I wanted him to get a trophy, and he didn't. I mean, obviously, all the English people too. It's coming home, and then it kind of doesn't, and it's sad. And the fact that one of my favorite players could have taken it home, but was not on the pitch, really sucked too. But after that, it was the last chance of the game. Game was over, and Spain wins. And yeah, Spain was dominant. They deserved to win. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to win. They dominated this entire tournament. So I kind of felt like we all knew this was coming. But yeah, I think you have a few stats to talk about that.
No, that makes they're the kings of the Euros right now. They have their most successful team in the tournament history. They've won it 4 times, and this is the first time in Euros history that any team has won 6 straight, let alone 7 straight for the championship games that in one tournament. So pretty crazy. Spain is on top right now, and there was no stopping them this year. It's been absolutely insane, and a great time to be a Spain fan.
Yeah, and I know that we were talking about in the breakdown for Spain that a lot of the media felt that Spain were a team that were very good. They had very good players, good quality, but they just weren't at the level that some of the other teams were. We thought France would be a little better, Portugal would be a little better, maybe Germany, but after this, it doesn't matter how young those players are for Spain. They're just freaking good. Like it's crazy how young they are, specifically Yamal. And man, he's the best player on the pitch whenever he's out there. At 16, no, sorry, he's 17 now. He had a birthday, so 17 years old. And I mean, he's playing grown men, and he's just like taking tests and winning Euros, no big deal. That's crazy. It's like to think about what I was doing at that age and to see what he's doing at that age. It's depressing, actually. So,
all good.
I think any other stats we need to talk about here?
I didn't have any. I don't know if you had
okay. No, I think we're good.
It's the 4 championships, 7 straight wins. No other teams even got 6 wins. I think that was it. Yeah.
I will say though, if I'm not mistaken, Kane did win the Euro Golden Boot.
Was he tied with everybody?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of guys that are tied, but still, that's something to root for. Oh man, it was a fun tournament. It was really cool to see Spain just dominate the entire time. Like that first match day, I remember being like, okay, Spain look for real. And if they play like this, they're going to win this. And they just did. There was not even a time. We were talking about it right before we came on air that the fact that Spain won every game, like, yeah, duh, they won the championship. But no, like they didn't even draw. They won. They destroyed everyone on the way to the final. That's so impressive. So cool. And like, I couldn't imagine being a Spanish fan right now and just seeing how proud they probably are of their team. And then you see some of the celebrations and everything. My favorite thing going on right now, I don't know if you've seen it yet, is Cucurella is like, he looks drunk as hell. I don't want to say he is. He might not be, but he looks drunk as hell. And he's singing his own chant. He's like cucarella or cucarella. Sorry, cucarella se come paella. Just look it up. Danny P will put a link in here, but it's freaking hilarious. And all the teams see, like, it's at the I don't want to say the parade, but like the end where everybody's, you know, cheering him on and everybody's on stage and he like makes them get quiet and then everybody's recording his drunk ass. Oh man, it's hilarious. Looks like a great time. We had a great time at the Euros. Sad to see them go, but the Euro 2024 definitely put a mark on the end of this year, or what's not even the end. I guess we'll call it the midpoint of the year going into the club competitions. And speaking of that, we will be reviewing all the top 4 leagues, and I'm excited for it. And we'll talk a little bit about every league. And I say top 4 because usually it's top 5. Sorry, friends. But what's happening is, if you don't know a little bit of the drama that's going on, to this point, I haven't seen anything anyway. The French league does not have even a local provider that's showing that's determined who's broadcasting their games. So like local, they can't figure out who's going to be broadcasting. International, they can't decide who's going to be broadcasting. It's a very concerning, sad. You can't see these teams. I think they were on ESPN for a while. They were on BN Sports for a while. And now we probably won't, at this point anyway. I'm sure they'll figure something out for a very, very discounted rate. But for right now, we can't even watch their games. So as of this moment, we're only doing the top 4, reviewing the top 4 leagues. And that's Spanish League, German League, English League, and the Italian League. And we're kind of going to break it down just like we did with the group games, or the group breakdowns for the Euros. We'll go through each club and give you a brief club history. We'll go through how they did in their respective leagues and how they've done in the past. Same thing in European competitions, talk about how they've done and where they are coming into this next season. But not only that, because you know how we do at No Business, we want to talk about the people, the culture, the families of these clubs, right? How it feels if you're going to be going to a game. So we're going to describe the stadium, what it's like in the city, how the fans are. We're going to talk about the last season's top performers, and then the players going in and out in this next season, and much, much more. Of course, we're going to have some comedic relief by my boy Hype Man Vic over here. He's going to have something silly to talk about, I'm sure. Anything you want to say?
You just got me. You got me hyped up, man. I'm ready to run through a wall. I'm getting some goosebumps. Ready to do this, man. I'm ready to go. I feel like The Rock when he comes out. Like, you ever seen him? I don't know if you see him.
Well, not only do you feel like it, I don't watch it, but not only do you look like him too, is what I'm trying to say.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, of course. And I'm super excited too. We've been putting a ton of work, a ton of time into this, creating all these. And it's not going to be just for the big clubs in these leagues. It's going to be for every club in the top 4 leagues. We're going to have all of that information and more. And we're going to have it all ready to go before all of the competitions pop off mid-August. So before we start our flagship show, the European Reach Around, name to be determined, we're going to be going through and reviewing all of these, and we can't wait to bring it all to you soon. And with that, take us home, Vic.
Guys, again, we want to thank you for joining us on this journey that we've had for covering the Euros. And please like, subscribe, comment to us, and we'll see you guys whenever we start reviewing the rest of these leagues. Please let us know what kind of bourbon you're drinking, what kind of bourbon maybe I can get to drink with you. So we'll get Adam into bourbon too, so we'll get him drinking. I might start making cocktails as well. So all this regular bourbon stuff is I'm ready for some new stuff. So appreciate it. Anyway, guys. Anyway, guys, appreciate it again. Let us know what you guys think, and we will talk to y'all soon. See y'all later.
Peace.